The fear of being controlled by men when it's really a form of structure.
Somebody get this chick a Nobel Peace Prize. You fellas, we're gonna have to protect this woman with all of our lives, because what she just said, see, feminism told women the patriarch is trying to control you. You're gonna stay home and you're gonna wash dishes and you're gonna wash my clothes on a rack and I want to hear it go click, 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 click. They lied to women. They lied to women. Now, I don't feel bad for women because women fell for the lie. I don't feel bad for them at all. I promise you, not even the least bit. There ain't gonna be no tears shed over here for none of these chicks. But let's keep going.
Would you agree that it's defined as a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it?
No, I feel that that's more small-minded individuals. They're not looking at the bigger picture of that we do need leadership. More often than not, unfortunately, we do see women get clouded by their emotions. And I'm guilty of it.
Whoa.
I got my swag right, feeling crispy clean. Girl, I'm the flyest mother you've ever seen. So much money.
Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast in association with True Hall of Fame Builds. I'm your host, Michael May, and today we're going to be reacting to a good one, y'all. This is the homie It's Complicated. I want y'all to listen, fellas. Listen to what's being said. I want to get right into this, man. Fellas, if you let women talk, they will tell on themselves. Y'all already know. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on notifications. Fellas, listen, y'all. Listen.
Is it true that
Fair
most
use.
women say they want a man to protect and provide?
Yes.
What if I told you the idea of men protecting and providing is a social construct reinforced by the patriarchy?
I would definitely agree.
If patriarchy is bad, why do women still expect that from men?
Because I feel like women still want to be taken care of, even though they want to be bosses as well. They still want to have that manly love at the end of the day.
Hold up. I'm gonna let them.
I think it's just the pressure of society and what's been passed down to us through generations. I think that's part of where the confusion lies, is that there's been this pressure of that you're supposed to be married and you have to do it this way because everybody did it this way. But now with social media and different outlets and religions and countries and cultures and the freedom of speech, people want to try new things.
For me personally, I don't want a man to think that he can do everything for me. I want a man to be able to say, I know that you can do it, but let me do it for you.
Now hold on. Now you heard what his question is. Women still want you to protect them, provide for them. But that's patriarch. So they want to destroy the patriarch. But they still want you to still be... Fellas, women want you to be a traditional man while they continue to be a modern woman. If you don't like it, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want. What else do you want me to tell you? What else do you want me to tell you? These women are telling on, listen, they're going to continue to tell on themselves, fellas.
So I think it kind of depends woman to woman.
What is patriarchy and why do so many women complain about it?
I think patriarchy is the fear of being controlled by men when it's really a form of structure.
Somebody get this chick a Nobel Peace Prize. You fellas, we're going to have to protect this woman with all of our lives, because what she just said, see, feminism told women the patriarch is trying to control you. You're going to stay home and you're going to wash dishes and you're going to wash my clothes on a rack and I want to hear it go click, 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 click. They lied to women. They lied to women. Now, I don't feel bad for women because women fell for the lie. I don't feel bad for them at all. I promise you, not even the least bit. There ain't gonna be no tears shed over here for none of these chicks. But let's keep going.
Would you agree that it's defined as a system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it?
No, I feel that that's more small-minded individuals. They're not looking at the bigger picture of that we do need leadership. More often than not, unfortunately, we do see women get clouded by their emotions, and I'm guilty of it.
Whoa. Whoa. She said, and I'm guilty of it. Fellas, hear me out. I guarantee you this. A woman like her will get married because her mind, her thought process of a relationship is not screwed up yet. Pay attention. She's being accountable. I gotta respect her.
Why is patriarchy seen as such a bad thing when women always expected men to provide?
I think it's just fear. I think, again, it's the fear of wanting to be controlled, but then also wanting to be submissive. So
Right.
you got to pick a side, ladies.
I think patriarchy nowadays is how men perceive themselves and how they put themselves on a pedestal above women. However, I don't think that was the original perception of it itself. I think women look at it as a negative thing because men use it as like a power trip against women. And I don't think that is something that should be used, especially in today's society, because we have different rules and standards now.
If a man
Like I said, women want to be modern women, but they still want you to be traditional. Fellas, don't fall for this nonsense, man.
protecting and providing for a woman is called a patriarchy, would a woman
It's gonna get crazy, y'all. Pay attention. This video gets crazy.
protecting and providing for a man be called a matriarchy?
I would say yes. I think that, yeah, it would then be a matriarchy of then could trickle down and they would then feel probably victimized later on down the line for it.
How can a society that always places women first be called a patriarchy?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Right.
Maybe because they don't feel that women are put first right now.
Did you notice? How can women listen, how can you say patriarchy is bad? Fellas, we put our women first. Let's just be clear. We know this. I don't subscribe to the happy wife, not even my wife believes that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why it's called Happy King, Happy Kingdom. That's how this works. You understand? But she understands it. She goes, it's because it's a feeling. It's a feeling. There's a reason why they say by 2030, 50% or more of women are going to be single and or childless. There's a reason for that, fellas.
If we lived in a matriarchal society that was run by women, what would the man's role become?
If I'm being totally honest with you, I don't think it would flip. I think it'd be the same concept because there are things that men can do that women can't, and there are things that women can do that men can't. And men are the ones that are supposed to be the provider. That's been how it has been for last however long.
Nah.
I don't think it would flip. I think.
So she said, if the roles were reversed in the patriarchal society. So fellas, you're not listening. I'm telling y'all, women are still expecting you guys to be the man. Even if they're in power, they still expect you to be the man. They still expect you to be the man, no matter what. Through and through, they expect you to be the man, while they could just fall back and be the women. Fellas, y'all gotta stop.
Could be the same concept because there are things that men can do that women can't, and there are things that women can do that men can't, and men are the ones that are supposed to be the provider. That's been how it has been for last however long.
So
they have different strengths.
So y'all making money, y'all making more money. I want to be Miss Independent, fellas. Why do you think we tell you the more money a woman makes, she lessens her dating pool? Why? Because women are naturally hypergamous. Women, if a chick is making 50K, you as a man cannot be making less than 50K. because now she's gonna feel like she's better than you. So women date up and across. That's how they date. But you guys will date the chick in the Hooters, and you're making $1 million. You'll date the Hooter chick. You see what I'm saying? And chicks will call that the come up. Fellas, that's why I keep telling you guys, stop dating these broke ass women. Yo, if you making a $500,000, make sure she's making 60. If you making 100K, make sure she's making 50, 60. Fellas, stop. You gotta have rules for. Now I ain't saying you can't go around and do your thing. Go do your thing, player. You know what I mean? I'm just saying the chick that you're gonna settle down with, make sure she's doing something with her life, man.
They have different weaknesses just as women do, and I think if it were to be a matriarchal society, women would feel as though that they should be the powerhouse, and I don't think that's necessarily what our generation in today's world can say is 100% the truth.
Isn't a matriarchy just women having authority without responsibility, while men have responsibility without authority?
Well, would that be the same thing as like what a patriarchy is now? Like you could say the same thing.
No, you can't.
I don't really know that. I don't really know the answer of that.
Because you can't answer it.
Women have to.
Because you can't answer it. Because what she just said sounded crazy.
Work harder to get where they want to, because men are always going to look down on them and saying, you know, oh, you can't do this, you're a woman. Oh, you can't do that, you're a woman. Let me do it for you.
But this same woman just said men can do things that women can't do. Vice versa. Fellas, I'm telling y'all, if y'all let women talk, they're going to rat on themselves, man. I'm telling y'all, man.
Instead of you can't do it, you know? And that kind of contradicts what I said beforehand.
At least she admitted it. It contradicts.
But I think part of it too is it's like women.
Fellas, you're not listening to her. I guess it kind of contradicts what I said beforehand, but it doesn't matter. Fellas, it doesn't matter. Because she's a woman and she's allowed to have that butt. I keep telling you guys, the more you are afraid to hold women accountable, the less likely you are to be successful in life. Fellas, the top dogs, they don't tolerate this. Chicks don't even pull this game with the top dogs. I'm telling y'all, because I spend a lot of time around these dudes. But let's keep rocking and rolling.
Women also place this thing on themselves where they're like, I need a man to do this for me. I need a man to do this for me, instead of I want a man to do this for me. And so it's viewed differently.
No.
What does it mean when people say that men are supposed to lead?
I think it's that people want to be supported and have somebody that will lead them and guide them and provide for them. But you have to be willing to be a team player too, not another child in the house.
How is that different than patriarchy?
Ooh.
Right.
I think it can get kind of messy depending, but I don't know, maybe not too different.
It's more of you're the man, I'm the woman, you're supposed to make me feel comfortable, not levels to our lifestyle though. Because I feel like even if a woman works, a man works, it's no different. We're all working and going towards a goal. So as long as you have that goal, I don't really think it's a matriarchy, patriarchy thing. I just think we're all getting to the goal. So if you want to work and that's going to get us closer to the goal, then cool. But if I want to have a job and that's going to get us closer to that same goal, I don't think there's a difference.
Why do feminists want to smash the patriarchy but not build the matriarchy?
Oh, that's a great question.
Great.
You have to ask a feminist.
This chick is smart. I would love to have a conversation with this lady right here. I would love to have a conversation with her. It's true. Women want to destroy the patriarchy, but they don't want to build the matriarchy. Why? Because they're not ready for that responsibility and that smoke. They're not ready for it.
Because they like to take down power but not establish it themselves.
Oof.
Like have a job the same as a man, to be paid the same as a man. That was the original concept of feminism. But now it's turned into something different for certain people and just kind of screaming it and saying, I'm a woman, you need to respect me, when there's no really concept behind it. And so I think women, not all women, but there are some women, just like how there's bad seeds and everything, have this perception of what feminism is, and that's blasted as like the forefront, and it kind of gets messed around. So I don't really think that it's a common thing for women to feel that way. It's just a certain group.
If women don't need men, why don't they build a female-only civilization on an island or a female-only Fortune 500 company and show the world how it's done?
What if it already exists and you don't know about it?
I think that there's a lot of women-owned companies, especially in production and small businesses and all sorts of things. I just don't think that anything would be that sustainable if it was only run by one gender.
She finally says something correct. Now, she was correct and she was wrong at the same time. An all-male ran company would run smoothly. An all-female company would hardly get off the ground. Listen, I know all-female companies, y'all. I know all-female companies. Y'all guys know. Some of y'all know me personally, and y'all know some of the people that I know. I know people. And I could tell you this. An all-female ran company would not work. All males would thrive. Would thrive.
Would you consider a queen bee in nature an example of a matriarchy?
Yes.
The queen bee needs her worker bees to survive. She needs the bees also to repopulate as well, to have more bees. She needs those male bees, but those male bees follow her everywhere because they need someone to lead them.
If all women are queens, how do we not currently live in a matriarchy?
But we do.
How so?
All queens support other queens. If you don't support a queen, then you're not a queen.
Can you think of any matriarchies that have existed and stood the test of time?
No.
Oh, yes. I can think of specifically three actually. Two of them are Egyptian. One of them is Hatshepsut and Cleopatra. And if you think about it, Cleopatra was one of the smartest women in the entire world. She knew 17 different languages, I think it was. She actually controlled Rome through Caesar by contacting him through emotional powers. That's pretty cool. Hatshepsut did the same thing, and she actually had all of her portraits in Egypt described more as manly and more masculine because she wanted people to respect her. I think the last one would also be Queen Elizabeth I. If you think about it, she had no heirs, she did nothing, and she wanted to be portrayed as a man as well because she wanted to have respect and authority, and she is one of the greatest leaders that we still talk about to this time.
I don't know about standing the test of time. I think a lot of them, if they made a difference, unfortunately, it was short-lived.
Yep,
So
very
then why are
short-lived.
so many women obsessed with tearing down the patriarchy and replacing it with a matriarchy?
Because they're afraid that if they don't continue to push, then it will be completely undermined.
And I hate to say it, you had these women that were in these positions of power, they were doing these really good things for their countries, and then a man stepped back in, and sometimes it kind of just falls down due to ego.
Could it ever be possible for women to hold too much power in society?
I think it is possible. I'd like to wish that it wasn't, but a lot of times we can get clouded by our emotions.
You know, it'd be wrong for me to say that men hold too much power and say that women can never hold too much power. I think
J.D. Power now ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. Visit sleepnumber.com to learn more.
It's sad, yo.
Priceline has all these amazing deals.
Sad.
Deals.
if you get power in your hands and you have a power trip kind of person, and it can totally lead to self-destruction, 100%.
If we consider that the mainstream media, social media, TV, newspapers are all owned by powerful men, the real patriarchy of this world, who is giving women so much airtime to platform and challenge the patriarchy?
The men who are, and like they're in love with the women's looks so much that they would do anything for the women, right?
Isn't that called a simp?
Depends on how you see it. Yes and no. Everybody simps for somebody.
The men are the ones giving us the power. I think, unfortunately, a lot of it comes down to what looks good on TV, and sex sells.
That is a fact. This is the only reason why a lot of women are even in a position to even remotely succeed in the least bit.
Men often complain about how it's a man's world and how men have all the power in society. If we lived in a matriarchy and women had all the power, would they be willing to give it up?
No, definitely not.
So then why should men be expected to give away their power?
I mean, they're not, but that's the real men from the fake men.
Porfa, please. Get the... That's the real man from the fake man. The real man from the... So a real man's gonna give up his power. But if we lived in a matriarchal society and women had all the power, they wouldn't give it over to the man. Come on, fellas. Come on, fellas.
Don't women have all the power when it comes to controlling sex, and are they willing to give that up?
I don't think so, but a lot of women don't see themselves as in power, which they should. If a man's, running to your needs and providing for you, definitely. Who's the one that wears the pants? The skirt.
I mean, if a girl wants to have sex with a guy and the guy says no, then they're controlling sex. Like,
it's an interesting conversation because the typical situation is that women, choose who they want to have sex with, whereas guys tend to, get with who they can. As from what I've seen, it's not a fact, but, so in every scenario except rape, it's
probably in her scenario, I can see her little rabbit teeth, her nose over here. Maybe they're not chasing her, but maybe that's probably what she's speaking from personal experience. But hey, let's keep rocking and rolling.
When men were in charge, didn't they still make laws to protect women?
State by state.
If we lived in a matriarchy, would women make laws to protect men?
Of course we would, because we're wives, we're women, we take care, so that's something that we do as well. So yes, we definitely would.
I would think so. I know that they would probably look out for themselves first, though.
Right.
If so, what would those laws be?
That's a great question. I've never really considered
Absolutely.
that because I already feel that men are protected.
Men make laws and rules based on what's best for them and their families and what they feel is going to keep them best in positions where they need to be. Women think more emotionally in the sense of, what can I do for this man? What can I do for me? What's going to protect me? What's going to be best for my children? And I think that's also why you don't see a lot of women in power too, is because there's a lot of men that just make laws to keep them in power and a lot of women that make laws that are sustainable and long term.
Why do women think that if we
Yo, my head hurt, man.
have a female president, everything will suddenly become amazing?
Because women are amazing.
Does being a particular sex mean that you have to share certain politics?
No.
It doesn't matter if it's a woman or man. It just matters how educated they are and how they run the country.
Why do women think that the men in power won't cater to women when they...
I want y'all to understand something, what she just said. Fellas, there's a huge difference. A lot of women are educated. They're not intelligent. I'm sorry. I'm going on record saying that. A lot of women are educated. They go to school, they get their masters, they go get their BAs, their CAs, their ABAs, the AAAs, the AAAs, the AACPs, the NAACPs, the CCCs, and the KK, whatever. They go and get all the educational things that they need, but intelligence, that intellect, that life, that natural, they don't have that. They don't have that. Because I know women who have PhDs and they dumb as a damn doorknob. Fellas, I'm telling y'all.
Already have.
I think it's circumstantial. Like maybe.
And I think it's because life is our teacher, where women look to schools to be the ones to teach them. You understand what I'm saying? I always tell my son, men and women have two very different lives. You got to get ready for that.
They have in some things, but there's still certain things that maybe they haven't.
I just think they've done what they think is enough, but it's not enough.
If we live in such a patriarchal society, where did all these laws come from that protect women and punish men?
No idea, because I don't have any laws that really protect us, so I don't really know what laws protect me, because I don't feel protected as a woman, so I don't get that question either.
Well, like the Violence Against Women Act, the family courts are typically biased against men.
Right.
I think it just comes down to what we've seen in history. It takes, like I said, it takes a long time to fix what's happened in the past, and so a lot of times these laws are put in place to help act as a catalyst to do that. But because right now, like as you said before, women are in a position where they are trying to become equal, and in order to do that, it takes laws to be set in place.
If feminism is about equality, why isn't there equal representation of both men and women's issues?
I think that's because they already feel that they're below men, so they're trying to catch up to then be seen as equal.
I guess.
Because there's not equal representations in our government. So until we have equal representation of females in our government, then it would trickle down into society.
The squeaky wheel gets the oil. If a woman sees that there's a problem, she's going to speak up against it. If a man sees that there's a problem, they're going to speak up to it. When a lot of people are drawing attention to an issue, they're all going to speak up to that. And I think that's what is happening with women in our country. And I think that it needs to happen because when a problem is seen and so many people agree on it, people should speak about it.
Hold on, Miss Smarty Pants. I ain't gonna let you go nowhere. So what happens when men get arrested, but most abuse happens from women towards the men? When are we going to speak about that? It's most of the homeless people are men. When are we going to speak about that? Since you see it, why aren't we speaking about it? Men are the ones that are dying sooner. Why aren't we speaking about that? Why aren't we saying that single motherhood and women raising children without fathers, cause they making poor decisions, and instead of us letting them figure their life out, our government has to keep on saving them with all kind of assistance. Let's talk about that. They don't want this smoke. They don't want this smoke, man. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Hear Me Out podcast in association with True Hall of Fame Bills. Y'all already know I'm your host, Michael May. Thank you for being here. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video, turn notifications. Y'all already know. Till next time, we out.